Good afternoon, Britain. It's 8 minutes past 2, and the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, says he would strongly support revoking former Post Office boss Paula Vennell's CBE. It's as Justice Secretary Alex Chalk is meeting with ministers to discuss one of the most widespread miscarriages of justice the UK has ever seen.
Well, joining us now is the Shadow Paymaster General, Jonathan Ashworth. Mr. Ashworth, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We've been talking about this, the Post Office scandal. It is such a huge scandal. We've interviewed a victim very emotionally this morning. What do you have to say about it?
Oh, I mean, absolutely. I watched the ITV series over Christmas like many people across the country did, and many of your viewers would have done. It was both heartbreaking. I mean, I was in tears when that gentleman took his life, but it also made my blood boil. Absolutely made my blood boil watching it. Now, I was aware of this scandal as an MP, but the way in which it was brought to life in that series was a reminder of how outrageous these people have been treated and how they deserve justice. So let's hope, and we're going to get a statement from the Minister here today, let's hope that compensation is speeded up. Let's hope that there was a route to overturning wrongful criminal convictions, but it is an absolute miscarriage of justice, and I think the British people want this resolving quickly.
Jonathan, Jonathan, as you say, you were aware of it. Politicians of all persuasions were aware of it. Why did it take a TV programme to get to this level of people doing something about it?
I mean, I think, to be fair, there have been MPs raising this for years and years and years, of all sides of the House, by the way. This is not a party political issue. There's been Conservative MPs working with Labour MPs raising this in the House of Commons. There have been statements in the House of Commons. There's been debates. It has been covered in the news before. I remember, I've never personally done an interview on it, but I remember sitting in studios about to go on to do an interview when it's been covered, you know, before I went on and things like that. So it has been out there. But I think there is a big question of why has it taken a TV programme to bring this so to the fore, bring it into the national consciousness. I mean, I do want to pay tribute to those MPs who have been raising these issues. My colleague Kevin Jones has been very active on this. James Arbuthnot, who's no longer an MP, but he was a Conservative MP, featured in, he was played in the programme, showed that he was onto this many years ago. So it has been raised, but we've really now got to get justice on this issue.
Yeah, some might say that ITV is providing a bit of a stiffer opposition to the government than His Majesty's loyal opposition. But to park that for a second, what should we see practically happen now? What could be done, perhaps by the government, perhaps by Parliament this very week?
Well, we need clarity today on both compensation, and it needs to be sped up. And we need clarity on what is happening around convictions. So I imagine we'll get, hopefully, some of that clarity today. There's going to be a statement from the Minister later this afternoon in Parliament. Don't want to preempt that or predict what he will want to say, but hopefully that will move matters forward.
Jonathan, Ed Davey was in charge of the Post Office at the time. He was warned 5 times that this was going on and refused to meet the person who was leading the campaign for justice. Do you think he should do the honourable thing now and step down?
Well, I'm not going to call for Ed Davey's resignation. I mean, he was a minister because, you know, famously the Liberal Democrats went into a coalition with the Conservatives and propped the Conservatives up and actually supported many of the austerity measures that the Conservatives implemented in that period. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent there. Look, I'm sure he will want to answer questions, people expect him to answer questions, and we all look forward to him coming forward and explaining exactly what his role was, what he knew, what he didn't know at the time.
Now, there's a big vote in Parliament today on oil and gas licences. I'm taking to understand the Labour Party will be voting against the government's plan to use our own natural resources to get oil and gas for Britain. And yet, Sir Keir Starmer has not committed to cancelling those projects if you win this year's general election. Isn't that having your cake and eating it? Voting against the new licences, but then reaping all their benefits if you happen to be elected into power?
No, we're not having our cake and eating it. What we've said is that future licences should not be granted because of both of the cost of subsidising those licences and our obviously wider commitments to climate change. But that basin is going to continue with exploration for many, many years, and a lot of jobs are dependent.
Sorry, Jonathan Ashworth, the cost of subsidising those licences. Do you really think that the North Sea is a net drain on the British economy? Is that what you're seriously trying to argue?
Well, there is subsidies involved in this regime, but we're not going to cancel existing licences. We're going to support those jobs. We've been working very hard with our colleagues in the GMB trade union who represent many of those working people, and we'll always stand up and support those working people and protecting those jobs in that part of the country.
What are the subsidies that you're referring to? Last time I checked, there was a 75% tax on the profits made in the North Sea.
Well, these licences do come with a degree of government support. I don't have the particular figure at my fingertips. I'll go and get it for you, and I'll make sure I get it to you for the next time that I come on. But that is part of that. But the key thing is this: we are not ending that exploration. We are supporting those jobs. Our position is about future licences.